Hi everyone, so today we're going to try out Spellbinders' new Glimmer of the month for July of 2023. I believe it's called Glimmering Christmas Flora. I already did a whole total package unboxing, so I talked about it then, and today we're just going to jump right in. So we do have this foil plate and with the little die and some sentiments, and then of course our foil. So these items were sent free of charge for my review, and all opinions are my own, and any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. So what we're going to do today is go ahead and foil our gorgeous plate, of course. It does not have an outer die, so you can either cut that down with like a die, you can do some fussy cutting, you can just leave it as a topper, which is what I'm going to do today. We are going to cut out this middle frame part though, because then I'm going to take this sentiment and, maybe this way, have that in here, showing through, so it'll be like a little bit raised up topper, and then we have of course the different sentiments, and then it comes with a foil. If you are signed up, you will receive the foil. If you pick this up later on down the line when it's available for everybody who was not a member at the time, you do not receive the foil. It's just the plates, so this is just like an extra bonus they give for members every month. Is this polished brass, so I'll be using that today. I already have my Glimmer plugged in actually, so we're going to be ready to go with that in just a minute. And I just grabbed some papers from the kit of the month, the card kit. So we have our A2 size card base, which if you're making your own, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We have these papers. So what I think I'm going to do, just for something fun, actually, I was going to switch this one out. Maybe I might switch this out for like a brown paper, because I was thinking just some really fun pastel colors, but then I thought, well, maybe something like Dune would be nice showing through, just something different, right? Unexpected. So maybe we'll go with Dune instead of the blue from the card pack. So that's what I'll do. This guy, Latte, is another gorgeous color, a newer color that is really nice. Yeah, let's go with that. So what I'm going to do initially, this is going to be like our background paper, and I like to trim everything down, so I'm not going to leave it just like this. I am going to trim it down a little bit to probably 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and this one will be 4 by 5 1/4, and then this one's going to be poking out or peeking out behind the aperture, so it can just be any size as long as it fits back here, right? So we'll do that in just a minute. But my first foiling will be this. So what I'm going to do is just try to center as well as I can, but again, we're going to trim it down anyway. If you have precision plates, you can use those, and you can just totally see where you want to put it, so it can be anywhere really. Just gonna get this guy out of here, and again, you always want to just cut as much foil as you need to basically cover your project, just so you have less chance of any overfoiling. Now I'm going to turn this over. This, if you scrape it, obviously that means the color's that side, it'll be like the color comes away, and you can see this sticks out just a little bit, so I'm going to need to go this way. And again, just be careful with your foil. And you don't have to stick to this color. If you want like your sentiment to be something else, maybe something red, or something festive, green. Right now, since I am using the colored papers, I'm going to go with the same gold. But I'm just going to get this as close as I can to that. And here's our paper. Again, this is not super heavyweight. It's a really nice cardstock, but it's not what I would consider the most heavyweight cardstock. So I'm going to build it up here. You want your color facing you, because this is going to push the color into your paper. And again, I try to put it as straight as I can. That way I just have to trim a little bit, but we can, again, use a die to help us with that. So I'm just going to tape that down on both sides. I have a little bit of extra foil, but that's okay. And then with this one, honestly, this piece of paper does not have to be the whole size, and in a way it kind of helps out. That way you can just line it up where you need it. So I'm just going to cut it down. Still a good sized piece of paper, but not completely what I need it to be. And then this Merry Christmas, I can just use a little piece of this foil that I have left here, and that will work. Again, facing down. If you're building this on your Glimmer, you're definitely going to want to put the plate facing up, your foil with the silver facing you, and then your piece of paper with the side that you want foiled facing down. That should do it. Okay, so my machine's ready. So I'm just going to bring that over. I think this is going to be really quick, guys. So when you put this on here, again, always put your plate facing, touching your surface. Sometimes I say that and I still forget. And I always put these right on top right now. You don't have to do that. That's just how I like to do it. I told you I've watched Spellbinders do it very differently. They just put the metal, I'm a press timer. They put the plate and the foil, let that heat up for a little while. And then they put the paper and the sandwich and then run it through. So different ways to do it. Obviously, if you're hinging it like I did, what they call the hinge method, you're going to have to put it all together because it's already taped together. I'm going to run it through my, excuse me, hit the thing here. I'm going to run it through my Platinum 6. There's a list of machines that work with the Glimmer. Generally, it's machines that can take a steel rule die. That's a good rule of thumb to follow there. But let me pop this back in here. Every little bit that I have left, like even this, you saw that that helped me make a sentiment. I pop back in here. I just kind of roll it up a little bit. And I'll have it for the next time. And when the timer goes off, that means it's time to roll it through, so I will be right back. My timer went off literally like seconds after I logged off with y'all, but I'm going to take that very carefully. And I'm going to run that through. Kind of slowly. I like to go forward and then backwards again, but I know that scares some people, so don't do it if it scares you. Like forward, and then I'll take it right back. I don't know if that does anything, but it makes me feel better. So we're gonna push this back in here because we still have to foil our sentiment. And let me grab this guy. Turn that over. Now, if you're afraid and you think maybe it didn't foil correctly, you know, you can definitely just leave it there perfectly and then just pop it back down. Again, like I said, this paper isn't super thick. I'm just curious, and maybe I should have added a shim, but that looks really good. So let's go ahead and remove this very carefully, letting it heat back up. Look at that, you guys. Okay. Look how perfect that is. Again, I'm telling you, 99.9% of the time with my Glimmer, it's spot on. Very few times have I had to redo it or like, oh, it's not quite right, you know. It's just really great. But we have this gorgeous thing that if you put it to the side carefully, you can then foil this, right? Whole piece down there, you can see the negative, there you go. And then you'll have something that has gold all around and then your paper showing through, right, in the areas. So I always put those in a little bin, little box that I have over here, and I'll have them ready for later. Oh, platform is ready. And so now we're just going to do our sentiment. This one probably won't take as long to heat up. And I'll just run that through, okay? I'll be back. Heating up. If you have anything you would consider over foiling, like maybe it's like a little messy right here, I can see like a little feathering, just take an eraser and put it down on your surface, but you can just go over it like this, and it just gets rid of those little bits that might be feathered out. That's it. Let's check that guy out. I was going to say, I can see that it has a really good impression. Again, this paper is a little thicker, this cardstock, so it just, you can see how much more pressure that had than the first piece of paper I used. But there it is. And I'll clean it up a little bit because I can see there's a little bit of extra foiling like here and there. And put everything away, and we're just going to do some die cutting, and we'll put it together. I'm going to be showing through the back. Now, I might have to trim it down, but we'll get to that when we get to that. For now, we're going to have this. Oh, I did that perfectly. Oh, you know, maybe it's symmetrical. I don't know. Because it lined up perfectly on both. So we have that guy. And I'm eyeballing this. You can definitely color in maybe some water-based markers, alcohol ink markers, depending on the paper that you used. I'm going to tape that towards the inside. Try not to touch the foiling. And then I'm going to take one of my dies from my precision plate sets. So I already cut down the pink paper to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So I'm just going to glue that down. So when we come back, that'll be glued down. It's not the biggest deal. Just gluing it down there. And I think the next one that I need should be 4 by 5 1/4, and it might be from this one. Let me see. That's just a little bit smaller. Yep. So if I use this guy. Ooh, right on. I might go a little bit smaller, we'll see. But that looks pretty good. I'm just eyeballing left and right. Trying to keep that nice and centered. And again, just gonna put a little tape there. run this through, and it'll cut out our, make the outside the size we want, and then take that frame out to the center, and I'll be right back. Okay, there we go. So that centerpiece came right out. Look at that. Gorgeous, gorgeous. And then these guys, just be very careful. And so then I just eyeball how much of the brown paper I need to remove so that it nestles behind this and you just see the sentiment, right? You can do the whole piece of paper. You don't have to, so that's why I didn't. If you want to do a whole matte layer that's the same size, you can take that same die and have cut it, right? And it'll fit behind there. But as you can see, that's pretty good. Actually, I don't really see any of it. I guess we're okay. Yeah, check that out. Okay, so we already have this glued down. And basically what we're going to do is have this here. So what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue so I can kind of shift around back there. I could probably use a glue that doesn't set up too quickly, but this one kind of does. Let's go ahead and put it behind this and have a good idea of where I want it. Something like that. And place that there. Yeah, that'll be great. And I'm just gonna get, you can just stick it down just like this. You can make it a shaker, clearly. I think that looks really sweet and classic and clean. I love that. But I'm gonna pop it up just a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna put some dimensionals on the back of this and I'll be right back, guys. So let me put this here. And of course the sentiments, they go together. You also have a die to cut out the sentiment, which is really nice, both of them. The other one says, may all your days be merry and bright, and you can definitely pair them together. I just put the foam adhesive all over there. Let me see. That looks nice and straight. That looks pretty good. Okay, I'm going to turn that over. And this dimensional adhesive I have is kind of high. It's, I think, 1/8 of an inch thick, so you can play with that. And there is our gorgeous card. Very unexpected colors. I think it's a really pretty colorway. I love just that pairing with the pink peeking out back there, very soft powdery pink, and then that very light tan color with the gold. Look how pretty that is. And again, you want to decorate at the outside a little more, you can definitely do that. I saw, I think, some examples where they use the flowers from the small die of the month, the little poinsettias. That looks really lovely. So anyway, all right guys, well, thanks for watching. I'll have images coming up. I'll have the links in the description box, and I'll see you all at the next one. Bye now.